Welcome to Above Par. I'm your host, Kathy Hartwood. I show you how to take more of your talent to the golf course without practicing harder, taking more lessons, or buying new equipment. I show you how to end the frustration of underperforming so you can start playing to your potential. This is where you are going to learn how to think above par so you can play below par. Let's get to it. Hello, my golf friend. How are you? Super glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening. I hope you're playing some golf, getting ramped up for some golf maybe, starting to think about lessons and the season ahead and tournaments if you're not already involved in them. You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it over and over that if you can't manage your mind, doesn't matter how much you work on your golf swing, how pretty your swing is, or how many putts you make. What matters is that you get out of your own way on the golf course so that you can take all that talent out there. So I hope as you're ramping up to this season that you're really putting in an equal amount of time into how you think and how you feel on the golf course, going out there with a plan, being intentional. It is a skill that will serve you on and off the golf course. I promise you that. So today I want to take lenses, which I did a few episodes ago. I talked about lenses. I got a lot of feedback on that. I had a lot of questions on it. And I want to take it to another level. So in this podcast, what I want to do is I want to challenge you to prove my theory about lenses. So if you're up for the challenge, I'm going to give you a couple of different examples for you to go out into your day-to-day life and on purpose put on a different lens so you can see that you experience your world totally differently by the lenses you look through, by the things that you say to yourself, by how you filter your environment in your world. I did this exercise. I made it up. I just went out with the intention of doing this one day, really not knowing even before I started coaching and doing this work. And it changed everything. It changed my whole experience, the way that I felt during the day. And this was particularly in a drive and a road trip. So I want to share it with you. And I challenge you to go out on any given day and be intentional about the lenses that you put on as an exercise for proof for your brain to do it over and over again. And then, of course, I'm going to talk about taking it out on the golf course. So let me give you some examples of different lenses that you could probably pick. Make them relevant to you, obviously. I'm just going to give you some generic ones. But I encourage you to take something that you have an attitude about, something that maybe that irritates you, that you get a little fired up about. The first time I did this was with driving. That's why I talk about driving all the time. You know, and I don't want to pick on New Jersey, but I was living in New Jersey at the time. Because let me tell you, whether you're in Orlando or Miami or out in California, it doesn't matter where you are. There's a lot of people on the road who can potentially aggravate you. And so I was getting aggravated, basically yelling at people, not really super loud, but just like going, what the heck? Okay, maybe I use different words than that. When people would cut people off or cut in front of you and slam on the brakes or go 3 lanes over to get off on an exit. I always say there's so many stupid drivers. There's so many dangerous drivers on the road. And I got in the habit of doing this every time I went out and drove. And so, of course, all I saw were the idiots, quote unquote, on the road who were driving very recklessly. And it got me agitated. So I decided I was going to go out and look for evidence that there were actually considerate drivers on the road, that there were smart people who were driving. There were safe drivers on the road. So I got on the highway and that's all I looked for. And of course, I saw them, right? We miss the safe drivers. We miss seeing the considerate drivers because we're so focused on all of the bad drivers, all the dangerous drivers on the road. So I went out with the intention of searching for them. So I scanned and I filtered my driving experience by looking for all the people on the road who were driving safe, considerate, smart, according to me. And it was such a better feeling and experience to drive, knowing that there were some smart and considerate people on the road, while even still, you could see the dangerous people cutting you off for sure. But instead of me being agitated by all of them, I felt so much better and so much more calm knowing that there were other people on the road that were creating a safer environment. I missed them before because I was so focused on all those other bad drivers. I changed my filter. I put on a different lens. We can do this with sports teams. I hear this all the time. Okay, these fans are the worst fans ever. I think Philadelphia got rated that, the Eagles fans. College, we can have the other team, they're like horrible fans. So if you go to a sporting event or if you watch a game on TV, all you're going to do is scan for all these obnoxious opponent fans. So if you go to a sporting event, instead of being aggravated that the other team is really obnoxious, the fans are obnoxious, you can go with the intention of looking for all the considerate and nice, calm, peaceful sports fans. And you will see them, and that will change your experience. Instead of you being agitated, there's a bunch of jerks, you're going to notice all the other people that we pass by because we have this filter on, because we have this lens where we're looking for all of the obnoxious fans. Politics. Chances are in your family dynamic, there is someone who is a different political party or has different views. And if not, you might have opinions about people from another political party. And what do you say about them? What are the harsh words that you say? Could you look through a lens that said maybe some of them are okay? Maybe some of them aren't so mean or evil, as we just look for it and we look for the evidence. And maybe instead of just putting our foot down and saying there's no way that's totally wrong and everything that they say is wrong, maybe we could put on a lens that maybe some of the things that they say I could believe in or could be open to believing or could see their point of view. Changes the way you look at people. Now, I'm going to tell you, I know politics is a big thing, and if that got your feathers ruffled a little bit, that's really someplace for you to look, that you dug your heels in on the lenses that you have, and you're unwilling to see and look through a different lens to filter your environment. Now, why would I tell you to do this? Just for your own benefit. You get to feel better. It's just not worth being aggravated all the time, in my opinion, or looking and seeing all the things that we don't want to see in our environment. It can be just not a very great experience if we're looking for horrible things and that's all we see are horrible things. What do you want to see about the other political party? What do you want to see in the world versus the lens that you have on, maybe that everything's going down the shitter, right? Right? And all you're going to see is things going down the shitter, that's for sure. Okay, so relationships. Maybe you have a child and your thought is they never listen. They just never listen to anything I say. Instead, you go out with the intention of saying, sometimes they listen to me. I'm going to look for the different ways that they listen to me today, or that they hear me, or that I'm having an impact. You will find them, and you will feel better about them, and you will feel better about your child, and that relationship will improve without you having to do anything other than change the lens and the filter that you look through. You don't have to say a single word. All that happens is you change the filter from they don't listen to anything I say to sometimes, or I notice, different ways that they listen to me. You feel different, and when you feel different, you interact with your child or that person differently. And that relationship changes just because you changed your lens. You could have a spouse who maybe you have the lens that they don't hear me, or they never clean the kitchen, or they never take out the garbage. Right? If you notice those thoughts are creating a lot of aggravation for you, like the microwave that I clean almost every day, you can change that filter so you're not aggravated. Maybe your thought is they don't support me. What's going to happen is you're going to get very aggravated in your environment when you see different ways that you're not supported. Or every time the kitchen is dirty, your head's going to explode. Versus I'm going to look for different ways that they clean up in different areas. Or that they do clean the kitchen. Or they did pick up after themselves. Or they did wipe down the microwave after they put bacon in it. I have to be careful with this one. Just in your day-to-day life, it could be you might beat yourself up because you have no discipline or no willpower. You say you're going to get up and go to the gym and you don't go to the gym. Or you come home and you don't want to have the ice cream at 8 o'clock at night and you have the ice cream at 8 o'clock at night and you beat yourself up because you don't have any discipline or willpower. Instead of looking for all the different ways throughout the day that you actually did have discipline and willpower, put a different lens on, right? You feel better. You give your brain evidence that you actually do have that discipline or that willpower. Okay, so now let me take it to golf, right? So I want you to go out in your everyday life. I challenge you to put a lens on intentionally on what you want to see in your world. Scan for that. Just like if you're going to go into a furniture store looking for a specific color furniture, that's all you're going to look for. That's all you're going to see, and you're going to block out all the other things. So on the golf course, let's start with I suck, which is the universal phrase of golfers, I think. I suck. At some point we say this on the golf course. And if this becomes your lens, all you're going to look for is all the bad shots on the golf course that feed into that filter. You're going to look for all the sucky shots. See, I suck there. See, I missed that too. See, there's another one. Instead of putting on a lens like, sometimes I hit good shots. Oh, there's a good shot. Oh, there's another good shot. And you start seeing all the good shots. Feels so much better, builds up your confidence, changes your experience while you're on the golf course. And the sucky shots can still be there. But you went out with the intention of looking for all the shots that you hit pretty well or that worked. Right? They don't have to be pretty. They just have to work. Could be that you have the lens that I never make any putts. Just such a broad statement. Because if you never made any putts, you'd never finish a hole. Or you chipped in every time. So you go out looking for all the ways that you actually do make putts, which is every hole. It'll change the way you show up on the putting green. Could have the thought that I'm just not good enough. You have this lens on. You're going to scan your golf environment for different ways that you're not good enough. Go out with the intention of looking for different ways that you actually are good enough. How shots are good enough to get by, to score, to work. That you do have parts of your game that are functioning and working. Because I promise you, when you look for all the different ways that you are good enough, that feels way better than the shame that you get from thinking you're not good enough. I don't hit it far enough. Go out and look for ways that you do hit it far enough. Oh, I guess I could reach that green in 2. I guess that is far enough. Now you have to be intentional about this stuff because a lot of these thoughts or these lenses or these glasses that you wear, that you filter your environment through, you're just not aware of. They've just become habits that run every single day. And the way that we know that we have a lens is because we feel crappy, right? You talk to your family about politics, you feel aggravated. You get mad at your family members or people in your community. You open the microwave and it's full of bacon grease, right? You get angry and agitated because in your brain you're going, here we go again, see? Right? You drive on the road and you're pissed off yelling at people on the road. Change the lens. Look for all the people who are driving considerate and smart and safe. Thought, I don't belong. I promise you, if you have this thought, you will look for all the different ways that you don't belong. It will be just a glance of an eye. I think that meant I don't belong. So instead, look for different ways that you do belong. Look for evidence throughout the day and different places that you actually do belong. Another one's everybody's better than me. It's just such a broad statement that if you put that lens on, if you look through that filter, I promise you will find people who are better than you. Always. Or you'll find one component of someone's game that's slightly better than you, but you missed all the rest of them where you were better. Go out looking for evidence that you are good enough to play, that you're as good as other people, that your game is good enough to score. And you will find it just as easily as you find evidence that you're not as good as other people. It's the way it works. It can't work one way and not the other way. Your brain is just designed to look at through the crappy lens. And we just let it happen. We just do it. And I'm challenging you this week to be intentional in different areas of your life. Use your emotions as your indicator. When you get annoyed or aggravated or shamed, ask yourself, what lens am I looking through? And what do I want to see? What lens am I going to try on today? And you have to be intentional, meaning you have to go out and deliberately say, I'm going to look through this lens. I'm going to keep looking through this lens all day. That's what I'm going to look for, right? Because your brain will want to rebound over to the other part, over to the negative part. It's the design of your brain. So you have to be intentional. You're out driving, you see a jerk on the road. You're like, nope, I'm going to keep looking for all the people who are driving safely on the highway because they both exist. And we want to do it for our own benefit because when we feel better, we take better actions and we get better results in every area of our life. All right. So I hope you accept that challenge. Send me a note if you do it with your results. Let me know what part of your world, what lens did you shift so that you could have a different experience on a day-to-day life. All right, my friends, do it on the golf course as well. I hope you have a beautiful week. I'll talk to you next Wednesday. Bye.